6 months after discovering wife's 31 FAP. Back in February, my wife and I enjoyed a trip to Vegas gifted by my mother-in-law. Mill joined and brought some friends. All was well. One of the nights we were there, my wife, Mill, and her friends decided they were going to go to a club in the hotel and us guys were going to go play craps. I got tired and decided to head back to the room. I showered and patiently waited for my wife to return to the room after receiving some detailed texts about what she wanted to do to me that night. She arrived stumbling and clearly way too drunk for any kind of activity, so I undressed her and got her into bed. I plugged her phone in and was about to go to bed when her phone started blowing up from one of the friends. I answered her phone and they informed me she had left her credit card at the bar. I thanked her for telling me and ended the call. I swiped up as I usually do to close the app I am using, and her phone displayed a text conversation that wasn't in the regular iMessage app, but Telegram. It caught my eye and I thought it was strange. I opened it and discovered it was a text between her and one of her colleagues. For context, back in July of 2021 we moved states 3 hours away as my wife kept asking for me to get a transfer with my job. Finally a transfer was granted and we moved from our old town to a new state. My wife was a principal of an elementary school there, and the male colleague texting her is still a principal there. There were photos shared of her in her S-timey outfit she wore that night. Him telling her how hot she looked, and the last message was "Love you baby." I didn't know what to do. I went to her photos and saw she had shared many photos with him. Very intimate photos. I saved all of the photos and sent them to my Google Drive account. I saved all the texts and sent screenshots to my account as well. I then went on to FB Messenger to see what else she has been up to. I saw that one of her ex-boyfriends was expressing how much he missed her and how he should have married her. Not me. She is so perfect, blah blah blah. He said, "It like you're thicker than a Snicker in all the right places." And, send me a picture for masturbation purposes and science. She didn't engage much in that conversation but didn't cut it off either. I screenshotted that and saved it as well. I then went and deleted all the screenshots from the recently deleted photos folder, making sure she did not know I screenshotted all of these things. I stayed up all night pacing as she slept drunk. I had his phone number from her phone. I saved it and screenshotted it in the Telegram app to prove it is his number in the messages. I found his address. I found his wife's name and her phone number. I found her on social media. I was ready to blow this all up. But I didn't. I love my wife, and I decided to let her explain herself before I blasted them to his wife. I packed my bags and was ready to change my ticket and fly out. But again, I love my wife and this would have caused her great embarrassment if I were to be gone early in the trip, leaving her to explain to her mom and friends where I was and what happened. So again I stayed put. I also knew that if I left there would be no room for reconciliation. By this time it was about 6-7 am. I took her phone and went downstairs to the little coffee shop and breakfast place in the hotel. I just helped myself through all of her stuff. I checked the phone statement on my phone and found out how long this had been going on. Just over a year. The first texts came through in December of 2020 and then they stopped in December of 2021, but clearly they continued talking through the app until February 2022. All the vacations, dates, and fun little things we did together, I could only assume she was texting him with me right next to her. I bought her a coffee, an orange juice, a Red Bull, and a bottle of water so she could sober up when she woke up because we weren't going anywhere. I went back to the room and plugged her phone in. I had everything. I had the idea to log into the Telegram app they were using to talk on my phone's web browser so I could see all of the messages between them. I sat on the bed next to her, sad, angry, heartbroken, and just in disbelief. Finally, at about 11 o'clock, she started stirring. She told me to come lay with her, but I just went and sat next to her. She immediately knew something was wrong when I got into bed with her. I guess she could just feel it. She immediately jumped up and turned to me and asked me what was wrong before I had even said a word. All I said was, "Who is Greg?" She immediately got defensive and sighed. She asked why I would go through her phone like that. I told her what had happened and I wasn't snooping through her phone. I explained that someone called and I saw it. She jumped up and grabbed her phone and went to the bathroom. I opened the app and saw she had sent him a message. I left the app open last night. Op saw it. Then she deleted it. She deleted all of the messages. So they disappeared in my web browser as well, but I already had them saved. He replied with, "Oh no, it. Am I in trouble?" I couldn't help but laugh. This guy is 41 years old. A principal. Asking if he was in trouble. I found it funny that he did not give her exit to ask how she was. He wasn't worried if I was angry. He wasn't worried if she was okay. She came out of the bathroom and I showed her my phone and said, "You're really going to go text him right now?" She started crying and I began asking all of the questions I wanted answered. Questions I knew the answers to. Some questions I did not. I asked if she ducked him. I asked how long it had been going on. I asked if he had ever been in my bed or in my home. I asked if she loved him. The answer to these questions was no, no, no. I wanted to go to his house. I wanted to burn it down. I wanted to do physical harm to him, but I have a precious daughter and a very good job that requires a security clearance. I finally lost the urge to confront him or hurt him, but I still have the urge to let his wife know. The problem is my wife does not want me to, she says, because of embarrassment, shame, guilt. But I wonder if it is that or me finding out something she didn't tell me or lied to me about. Who knows, but I want AP's wife to know. She deserves to know. I wanted to post his and her phone here that night, but I thought they may get me banned as well as into some civil trouble. We have very close friends there. Some of our friends' kids still visit us in our new state, and our new home. Some friends are still principals there or work in the school system in the small town. AP's wife does as well, so there are small circles that intersect. Recently, going back through the cell phone records, I remembered that we had attended a marriage conference in February of 2021. Sure enough, there is his number on the same dates as the conference. He actually attended the same marriage conference with his wife. It just got worse, it seemed. I also saw that she talked with him on the phone on her birthday, August 2021, while I was arranging a surprise party. She was on the phone for 45 minutes. I practically had to drag her to dinner that night with about 40 people waiting to surprise her. When she saw all the people, she cried and told me she loved me so much that night. I had no idea. I went through my phone and deleted every picture from December 2020 to February 2022 that was intimate of us. Hugging or kissing, or some timey photo she had sent me, or photos of us together on some random trip we had taken. I couldn't delete the pictures of my daughter at the same time, but they make me sad knowing what I know now. That she was likely talking to him and coming home to me. Update from the first post and removal. She removed the lock from her phone. She has given me full access to her phone. I told her I want couples therapy. I want her to go to individual therapy. She refused couples therapy but went to individual therapy. I asked again for couples therapy and she refused again. I finally told her she does not get to dictate how this goes. She goes to couples therapy or she leaves. I told her I would not move out. She could move out. My daughter stays with me as I will be in the house and she needs to stay in her environment that she knows. She was livid. Said that I would kick her out and keep our daughter from her. I said I would never keep her from her mom but I would have full custody and she could see her every other weekend. She finally agreed. She cried. She apologized. She explained most of it to me but it's only been 5 months and I keep getting questions in my head and I ask them. She gets so upset when I bring it up. I told her again, I'm sorry that my grief is inconvenient to her happiness. I told her she does not get to just move on like she wants to. She just thinks if we don't talk about it, it will disappear and we will be fine. I started going to the gym. I am looking better. She has noticed other women starting to give me attention. Good-looking fit women. She admits she made a huge mistake and she messed up so badly. She is working on fixing things. So far I believe her. The S-time has been great. She pleasures me a few times a week apart from the S-time 5-6x a week. I still get distant from her occasionally. I still get sad. I still get depressed but we are working through it. I still want to tell the wife but I don't want to risk the progress we have made this far. My therapist asked if that would make my situation any better and what would the repercussions be. So here we are. I guess just letting you guys know it's possible. I see so many posts. How do I move on? What do I do? Is it possible? It is. But it still sucks. I still wonder. I logged into the Telegram account recently, and saw he either blocked her or deleted his account. So there is that. 1 foot at time. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, tell the wife. Period. You absolutely would want to know, right? She's supposedly stopped and I get you are trying to get your hardest to keep it together but she is clearly not. Sorry you're dealing with this but it sounds like you are just rug sweeping and love beaming. Again, wouldn't you want to know? Or are you just fine with being complicit in her affair? Redditor follow-up, yep, send the wife the evidence. She deserves to know? Also don't tell your wife. If she comes back at you with how could you tell her? You know she's still in contact W app. Redditor 2, what you are describing is surviving. Not living. I'm 4 years out and it never goes away. It is with you every day. Redditor 3, are you working under the premise that your wife never got physical with this man while married to you? If so, you seem to be in denial when there is the type of dialogue between them that includes the words "love you baby." There is always a chance that your wife has learned her lesson but highly doubtful. You should expect a repeat performance somewhere down the line. You are trying to save her embarrassment, or are you trying to save yourself embarrassment? You have nothing to be embarrassed about, and if you actually do undertake reconciliation, you need to inform everyone in your family and friend group. You are teaching her that she can cheat and some "I'm sorry" and "BO jobs" will make this go away. Lastly, you humanely have a right to inform this guy's wife of what happened. Do the right thing, bro. She deserves to know, and to not because you risk a failed reconciliation is simply messed up. Sorry this happened. Ready to follow up. Your first thing I did when I was cheated on was called my best friend who lived in a neighboring state. His response: dude, I am so sorry, I can come down to help you move with other friends' names, just give me like a week's notice. No embarrassment or anything on my end, I didn't cheat, why should I be embarrassed? Story 2, how do I get over feeling replaceable and being sort of cheated on? I'll try to make this short. My 18M girlfriend 19F of over a year and I have had a relatively rocky road in our relationship. Something that has always bothered me is her history of cheating in past relationships. I especially have always been insecure of her previous BF. I always feel inferior to him, and like I'm replaceable, but my biggest fear is her having time with him, which happened. In December, I broke up with her to make a point about respecting my boundaries, but she wasn't happy with the relationship anymore. She didn't tell me she didn't want to get back together and instead hooked up with time with her ex during the week we were broken up, even though we had explicitly agreed not to do anything with anyone, until we decided we were 100% over, which we never decided. She told me she kissed him, then in March I found out she sucked his DCK, then in July I finally had it revealed that they had time. It made me sick, so hard to deal with, obsessively envisioning it in my mind, but I pushed it aside and chose to keep going and eventually got over it. While it still bothers me today, not nearly how it used to, and we were doing fine until I came back from a trip to California August 13th, our 1-year anniversary. Unfortunately her dad died that day and so everything kind of fell to acid for us, and she broke up with me during an emotionally heated argument that Sunday. Again, we were not fully over, and as far as anyone could tell, we were still fully together, saying our nightly I love yous etc. etc. We were planning on possibly getting back together. However, the spark faded, we were both getting tired of it and I almost ended things for good, but then we went to see a musical on Thursday, Cats. Well, I recently moved to uni and my 2 best friends cut me off a week or so ago, and I live in a 1-person dorm, so I'm really lonely. Being separated from my GF has only exacerbated that, to the point I became pretty depressed. During Cats there's a song called Memory, and it's a nostalgic song, and there's a line about essentially not knowing happiness anymore, and I just started crying. BC I am depressed and yay, I'm sad about her and I etc. etc. Somehow, this reignites our spark, we were really in love again, she was making changes to her life, she quit nicotine, is starting a social media cleanse, and I was just getting really proud of her and yay, things were great, better than they've been in months, I felt so happy. And she said she felt all in love all over again. Well, that was from Thursday night till last night, when I confronted her. BC I knew something was off. See, we broke up in August. BC I blew up on her for snapping her ex repeatedly and lying about it, hiding it. She started talking to him when her dad died and he was gonna go to the funeral etc. I confronted her last night and I finally got her to admit he ate her out a week or so ago. And I am distraught. I don't know why it's way worse than when she told me she ducked him. I think it's A. BC it's so recent, B. I was riding a high of love, and C. I'm in such an emotionally vulnerable time. I just feel totally betrayed and hurt and replaceable, and I cannot stop obsessing over visualizing it for the life of me. And whenever I visualize it, I feel like I definitely cannot get past this and that we have to be done. But the thing is, she actually seems like she's sorry this time, she wants to make changes for the better, and she is sad too. BC we had the spark again and now it's just gone to acid. My question is, how do I move on from this? How do I work on feeling secure again? She wants to know what she can do to build my trust back. I don't know any specific steps. How do I go on from here? Please help. G. Update, Caught my girlfriend cheating and I cannot cope, please help. So long story short, I found texts on my 18MGF19 phone tonight texting her friend things like he pounded my shit, I got some of the best PCK last night and it was so good, I couldn't walk last night. I'm disgusted. It was her ex, whom I've always felt inferior to, like she just hadn't gotten over him even after over a year. I'm distraught. I don't even have anyone else in my life. My two best friends cut me off over something stupid a few weeks ago. I just moved into uni and I have only really clicked with one guy friend. My family and I don't even get along nor communicate much. I lost my confidant, my support system, and my best friend all in one night. She's really sorry. I saw her crying when she didn't know I could see her and she was hitting the steering wheel over and over again. I feel bad, but like the lying and deception isn't new. I had to do it. I told her we're over, but she's welcome to try to win me back or whatever it. But duck, this sucks. I have mental health issues and so my coping skills are practically nil and I just don't know how to cope with this. I can't eat. I can't sleep and I have class in the morning. I keep picturing the texts and visualizing him pounding her and I'm just disgusted. I'm just obsessing over it and it's 4 AM in the ducking morning. Part of me just wants to let it slide if she does show effort at getting me back. I know in a while I'll be okay, but I just don't know how to get from part A to part B. Please help. Edit. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Guys, thank you so much for the overwhelming support. I get a new notification telling me to be strong literally every 3 seconds. I finally fell asleep at 7 AM and there were like 40 comments on this. I woke up and there are over 800 beautiful people telling me to be strong. Thank you so much. Reddit is such a beautiful place. In the strangest way, I feel really capable of surmounting this today as opposed to yesterday. You guys definitely played a part in that. This is the kind of stuff that makes me remember not everyone sucks, Lamau. Keep up being great in life, guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Edit 2, Jesus guys. You're all a blessing. I just finished class and I've been getting notifications every 3 seconds. Going to do my best to get back to everyone. I am doing much, much better. I'm feeling freed rather than sorry for myself now. Thank you all. By far the most frequent advice was to hit the gym. I'm going to dinner iron, but I'm hitting the iron directly after. On top of this awesome wave of support from all of you, I've had a few good things happen today that are just making this so much better. My job app for a $20 an hour job teaching SAT prep was praised for outstanding qualifications. I got invited to participate in drug research here at my school. And my ducking package arrived that I've been waiting on for a week. Also, one of my friends who cut me off reached out to me. I'm doing well, thank you all, you're all a gift, much love from my corner of the internet, you're all worth a platinum in my eyes. Cheers. Edit 3, I can't believe I forgot to say, my EXGF. I did it, guys. Thanks for pushing me to stay strong on my boundary, y'all are the best. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, she's not sorry she cheated, she's sorry she got caught. If she was sorry she cheated, the messages to her friend would be I ducked up and don't know what to do. I am so sorry. I don't know what happened and not I got ducked by my ex and it was great. She showed no remorse until she got caught. Please don't let her walk all over you just because you are afraid of being alone. You are young, you will find someone. Please use the mental health services available to you, and I know it's old advice, but go find some sort of group activity or sport you enjoy at your college. You will meet people with similar interests and new friendships will develop naturally. Answer: thank you so much. This was really good advice. I appreciate your lengthier response, made me smile. Redditor 2, but she's welcome to try to win me back or whatever it. Why would you let her win you back? She's effed, she isn't sorry, otherwise she wouldn't have said those things in the texts. Redditor follow-up: exactly this. Dude, things are down right now, but they don't get better by inviting toxic people into your life. You're 18, just starting uni, time to make new friends and connections. Don't date anyone for a while, figure you out first. Join clubs, go to events. When you get your head straight, figure out why the family and friends cut you off. Are they all a-holes, or did you play a part? Is it fixable? But those are problems to deal with later, figure you out first. Redditor 3, dude, don't get back with her. The pain will be worse next time she cheats. Redditor 4, see if your university has any mental health or even basic counseling services, use them. Answer: thank you, I'm gonna have to skip class to make it BC, they close at 4 and I have class all day. Thank you. Redditor 5, she got her acid pounded and you want to let it slide. Duck it off, dude. Redditor follow-up: seriously. I let acid like this slide for 3 years and she ended up ducking, ghosting me like I was nothing more than an awkward one-night stand for one of the dudes she was cheating on me with. You're still young. Don't lose 3 years of your life like I did because you're afraid of being alone. Grind through it and recover now. If you let her back in, you'll still learn this lesson eventually, except you'll be putting yourself through unnecessary trauma in the meantime by sticking with someone you'll constantly have to second guess until it inevitably hits the fan again. The damage is done. Keep the band-aid ripped. Stay strong. Redditor 6, completely cut off contact with her. It's difficult, but it's the only thing you can do that you will be glad you did later in life. It sucks and everything you feel will make you think to do the opposite. I did the same before and I regret every little of it. Learn from the advice given to you here and don't make the same mistakes. 18, her relationships with the other people in her life aren't ideal, but her super young and tbh most of the people you knew from HS would have not been in her life the next few years regardless. Redditor follow-up: no doubt. I had good relationships in high school and I don't talk to maybe 1 or 2 of them anymore. Hang out with none of them on a regular basis.